Hey, gorgeous friend, how you doing? Welcome to Soulvine. This is Jamie. I'm back on deck. I've taken a bit of a break. I've had some funny things kind of happen, like a bit of a twisted ankle, which was hilarious, and at the same time, a couple of days of hobbling, but again, back in action. I hope you guys have been doing well. This is the new moon energy, so let's connect in and see what spirit has for you. Pisces, sun, moon, rising will be the most dominant energies. All right, well, straight up, we've got the moon energy. Okay, so Cancerian, Piscean energy. Let's see what else wants to come on in. We've got the Chariot and Page of Wands. Okay, so something's moving forward based on some news. Let's see what else. Nine of Wands. Got the Knight of Swords and Hermit. Okay. Strength energy, the Chariot. Someone's not vibing with something here. Knight of Wands and the Three of Cups. Let's have a look at what's on the bottom. We have the Queen of Cups. So there's your energy, Pisces. Okay. So with the moon, the Chariot, and the Page of Wands, it seems like there's something here that someone could be feeling and wanting to move in a certain direction, and perhaps you're waiting on some news or some clarification on what that is. It seems like this is good energy. What's coming through though is that there seems to be potentially a little bit of frustration or not feeling supported about something. Maybe someone feels, again, a certain way or a certain direction forward is the way forward. And maybe there is some discussion, maybe, someone, if there is a child involved, or someone, who may not be as qualified or as well positioned as you, I just feel like that they're sharing some information, and maybe, in terms of the information, you thought things were great moving forward. However, what I feel like could be happening is that there's something here that someone's not liking. Maybe this relationship or situation is in its infancy. Maybe it's not as strongly built as you thought. It just seems to be coming across that I just feel like someone's not satisfied potentially in the direction because of this Knight of Swords and the Hermit. It's coming across there may be some conversation, something that hasn't gone quite well planned in the conversation, and someone's choosing to kind of withdraw. Or, is just feeling like they need some time out right now to navigate this path forward. With the Strength energy, the Creator, the Knight of Wands and the Three of Cups, someone could be sitting back to make a decision on what the future looks like, or what that situation looks like, or how you want things to kind of unfold. I just feel like there's this withdrawal part where someone's really trying to decide with this Strength energy, or just be a bit more controlled in the approach. And maybe to feel more controlled in the approach, you kind of step back. You kind of just not necessarily check out, but you're taking a step back, I feel, to kind of assess the situation because you're not liking it, whatever it is or whatever's happening right now. There's something that feels potentially a little bit uncomfortable. What I do like though in this little time out or time away or whatever conversation happens or is shared, I feel with this Knight of Wands and the Three of Cups that you come out the other side in better energy, okay? The Knight of Wands too is just adding a bit more flavor, a bit more fun, a bit more energy towards the situation, and trusting in the direction things are going, and maybe kind of letting go a little bit too, because something that's happened that I feel you don't like, Pisces, or something that unfolds you're not really vibing with, but you're trying to manage it for some reason. So I don't know if this is a person at work, a person at home. As I said, this could be a child figure. This could be, a relationship of some kind that just feels a little uncomfortable, and I think you're trying to navigate it in the best way you know how, and maybe there has been some difficult conversation that's unfolded, but I do feel with the Three of Cups you're coming out the other side a little bit better. Queen of Cups, you've got the Five of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. Interesting, we have the Judgment and the Page of Cups. So if there has been, I don't know why the word disparagement is coming up. So interesting word to place itself. So, maybe someone is saying some things that are putting you down, or aren't supportive. But I feel right now is that you're trying to hold space potentially for this, but you're kind of, again, not feeling maybe you want to put the energy into this situation, or you're just not appreciating what's unfolding here. So you are trying to take a step back, it seems, to really assess it. But I feel like you're going to come out the other side more positive, as we also have the Judgment, the Page of Cups here. It's like you're willing to see where this is going to go, is how the energy is coming across. But let's have a look more what's underneath influencing this, challenging this situation. What else do we need to know here? Thank you, Spirit. Nine of Swords. Yeah, so there is something bothering you, like I said, something that's on your mind or challenging something here. We have the Queen of Wands. This could be another female figure, or a figure that I'll say feminine, not female, just to correct that, a feminine energy. But it also could be something that's crossing your values, that's challenging your values in some way. And then we also have the Ace of Wands. You know, sometimes when you're starting something new, whether it's a relationship or you're trying to get to a situation that, this little bit of a fresh beginning, or has a new edge, or something that you're just excited about. And it seems like that there might be some form of potential interference, or someone that something may be doing that could be challenging what this beginning or what this energy is for you. And maybe that's what you're trying to navigate right now and understand. But I think, if maybe it did piss you off at some point, or there's been some weird interaction, but that's kind of what's showing up underneath. And then you do have the Emperor energy. So this is where this is potentially heading. Just remember that nothing is set in stone, Pisces. You're the one who is in control of the situation, in terms of the way you show up and the way you lead. Again, the Emperor and the Seven of Pentacles. Someone's invested here. So if you are questioning something or someone, there's something here that's quite invested. And this could be you choosing to take charge in something and invest and go in a certain path. We've got the Ace of Pentacles here. We also have the Hanged Man again. We've got the Three of Pentacles. That's interesting that's come out, because I think that was underneath the deck. We've got the Tower and the High Priestess. I feel like there's some news that has come, or is potentially going to come through. It's like I feel like you're willing, or there's a situation here that you're willing to handle and take control in, or there's someone here taking control in and wanting to put effort and energy into it, okay? If this is around the work front, or a masculine energy, I feel the energy is good there. I feel like you guys want to head a certain direction, build on this in some way. Again, whether this has something to do with someone else particularly, or just a direction that you're choosing to go yourself, I'm getting a sense here that you it's like you're trying to motivate yourself to go in a certain direction. I think you've got some confidence here to do that. What I'm sensing though is that there just seems to be this little part of you that is trying to reflect and look on how to work on something together. But with this Tower energy and the High Priestess, I think there is this concern that you may not be able, it's interesting, the way it's coming across, may not be able to keep a lid on it, okay? Or you're waiting for something else to go wrong. And I feel like there's some situation or a person challenging you. So maybe if there is a masculine that you're dealing with, or a certain job, or a certain new project, or something that you're working on, I feel there could be another energy that's kind of interfering a little bit, that is challenging you. And again, maybe that's what you've been in some argument about, or some difficult conversation, and you're trying to navigate it. But I feel, like I said, that you've withdrawn here at some point in time, or the person you're dealing with. This could be vice versa. But I feel like you want to go a certain path, and I feel like you're trying to convince yourself. That's what this feels like. You're trying to convince yourself because you don't want to allow people to interfere in what you want, right? I think that's natural. But when you do have an energy like that, it can be a little bit frustrating, or can, make you reassess the situation. But I feel like you're invested here. You want to put time, effort, and energy into something. And you've also, like I said, with this Ace of Pentacles, it's like you want this beginning, you want this solid structure, you want to make something work. But I still feel like you also feel that you are the one that has to give up something, or you're the one that still has to be challenged in terms of this circumstance to work on something here. That's how this is coming across. But you've got this Tower. I'm feeling a little... Again, I feel like this is either going to blow up or this is going to be a new beginning. This is how it's coming across. But there's something here that you're waiting to learn, to figure out, or that you feel, and you're trying to, wondering if there's something more hidden or something else going on under the scenes that maybe you're trying to understand. And that's what's happening here. So I'm going to unpack this more in the extended. If you're joining us there, it is the first link below. Underneath, we do have the Six of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. So I think, someone's kind of stuck a little bit in this situation. But again, I'm going to unpack this more. We'll also look at the love life and career as we'll get into looking at kind of what's happening and unpacking in the month ahead for you, Pisces. So if I see you over there, as I said, join us there. It is the second link below. If you haven't already and want to connect to our new channel, Expand and Elevate, that's where we've got a lot of subliminals to help with programming, mindset, and to really get connected and drive forward these dreams, goals, and desires that you have. So it's some music that's been put together, subliminal sounds that you can listen to at night, and just get connected to that. It's good to play at the night time. So there'll be a lot more being released over the coming week, so feel welcome to check that out. That's the first link below. Second link below is the extendeds. Appreciate you being here and connecting with you again soon. Bye.